The rainforest never sleeps. Dangerous predators lurk under the dark, gloomy canopy, just waiting to pounce. Wary prey never know where danger waits.
Eldon!
Ah!
You all right, Eldon?
What are you sneaking up on me like that for? Oh, where are you two this time?
We're on our way to the rainforest.
Oh, the rainforest. That's incredible. Incredibly stupid. Okay, listen, this show is called Canadian Geographic for Kids, okay? You have to talk about stuff in Canada, not the Amazon or something.
Eldon, there are rainforests in Canada, too.
There are? Oh, I know that. Yes, well, there are lots of rainforests in Canada with monkeys and gigantic pythons and parrots lurking in the dark.
Eldon? There aren't any.
Oh, yes, and not to forget the elusive Canadian jungle elephant.
Jungle what?
Yes, well, you know, you learn something new every day, don't you?
Today on CG Kids, we're in the interior of British Columbia.
We're going to visit the antique and largely unprotected Interior Rainforest.
And get out on some of the most beautiful mountain biking trails in the world.
Then we'll head underground to the Cody Caves, carved out of 600-million-year-old limestone.
It's all in today's episode of CG Kids.
Geographic Kids.
We're in Nelson, British Columbia, right in the middle of the Selkirk Mountains and along the shores of Kootenay Lake.
The region was called the Kootenays after the natives of the area. It means water people, and this remote mountainous region was left pretty much alone by European settlers until...
Gold! 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 Up in them Nar Hills! Well, not anymore, but in 1867, the gold and silver mines brought in tons of people. And those people built dozens of communities, including Nelson, which is the largest one of them all.
The Canadian National Railway built 2 routes through Nelson, and by 1910, it was a bustling metropolis. Complete with its own hydro generating station, streetcars, sewer system, and police force. With limited flat land in the area, Nelson expanded up the mountains. Special retaining walls were needed to keep the buildings in place.
Today, the mines are gone, and Nelson is a modest town, but its history and heritage have been kept intact by 350 heritage buildings.
People don't come here for the gold these days, but for the outdoors. There's amazing skiing, snowboarding, and mountain biking.
Hey, Aaron.
How you doing, Aaron?
Hey, Sid and Edie, let's get you geared up and let's go mountain biking.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, all geared up. Let's go ride.
Let's
Ready
do
to
it.
go.
Yeah. You guys excited or what?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Yeah. You're gonna have so much fun.
I'm ready to fall.
Over and over again. The wheel is the most important part of a bike, but even though the wheel was invented in Mesopotamia 5,500 years ago, it wasn't until the 1800s that the bicycle was invented.
Nasty.
Wow.
So, Aaron, what makes a sweet ride?
Okay, a sweet ride to be on a free ride bike. You've got full suspension, or at least front suspension, which is the shocks on the front or the rear. And what they do is when you're going down the hill, you're going a lot faster, and they suck up all the bumps from like the rocks and the roots and stuff like that. And then you're going so much faster because of the suspension that you need to stop faster, right? So you've got disc brakes. And they make it much easier to stop. You can use one finger on the brake lever. They're just like a motorcycle. And then you've also got big, fat tires. So when you're hammering down to slow down, they grip on the dirt so you're not skidding all over the place. And another thing, beefier construction. The frame has got big welds. It's like sturdy because they take a lot more abuse, these bikes. Braking is really important. You want to use your front brake mostly and a little bit on the rear, just like tapping the rear brake so you don't want to skid, because skidding you lose control once your back wheel locks up. And another thing is looking where you want to go. That's the most important thing about biking. So you look ahead, about 15 feet ahead all times, and don't look at any weird obstructions. You look at a big boulder and you're going to crash into it. So look at the nice smooth line where you want to go, and that's where you'll go. Right, so you guys really want to learn how to mountain bike? You got to check out Garrett and Michelle. They'll show you how to do it.
All right.
So you guys ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right.
Thanks for taking us mountain biking. It was awesome.
Oh, my pleasure. You guys did so well.
Rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Sweet.
There are many different land formations in the Kootenay region.
Part of it is composed of a system of granite rock known as the Nelson Batholith. As the earth cooled, pressure forced slower cooling minerals into holes and cracks in the granite. These deposits and finger-like veins of minerals rich in gold and silver led to mining fever in the late 1800s.
So it's no wonder that when Henry Cody discovered the caves right in the middle of the mining boom, he thought he'd struck gold, or silver, or copper.
What he actually found was 600-million-year-old limestone that had been carved and sculpted by nature into a fascinating cave system.
And this is Leon and Hunter. They're gonna take us down into the Cody Caves. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
So what do we need?
A helmet and gloves. The helmet protects your head and the gloves protect the cave.
Great, let's go.
All right.
So Hunter, it's really cold down here in the caves. What's the temperature?
It's about 6 degrees right now, and that's the constant year-round temperature for the caves. There's also a lot of moisture in the air, so that makes it damp.
And how big is the cave?
It's 1,170 meters down into the mountain, but there's only about 800 meters of explorable cave.
The longest cave in Canada is Castleguard in Alberta at 20,122 meters. That's over 20 kilometers. Is the cave still growing?
Yes, it is. The calcite formations grow at a rate of 1 cubic centimeter per century. Some of these formations have been growing for thousands of years, but they break really easily, so you want to be careful not to touch anything.
Cool. So what are those types of formations that we find up there?
Well, they're all calcite formations, and the calcite is a reaction, a chemical reaction between the water and the limestone. Over there are some stalactites, and they're the pointy ones that are hanging down. The water drips down and leaves calcite on the end, and they keep growing down. And then the water drips off them and drops onto the ground where there's some stalagmites right there. and they start growing up, and sometimes they meet and form a column. The little skinny white ones are called soda straws because they're hollow and the water drips down on the inside and leaves a ring of calcite deposit. That one right there that looks like a curtain kind of, it's called a drapery. And those ones with the white strips are called bacon strips.
Yeah, they do kind of look like bacon.
Yeah.
I see some white stuff on the wall there. What's that?
Oh, that's moon milk. It's the calcite deposit on the surface of the wall, but it's got bacteria in it also, so it's pasty instead of hard like rock.
Hunter, what is that hairy stuff on the wall there? Is that lichen?
Actually, it's spiders. Hundreds of daddy longlegs come in to hibernate for the winter. They stack on top of each other in groups against the wall and just spend all winter here.
Oh, look, they're moving.
Those are spiders?
Ah, look at it, they're coming down here.
Hunter, Leon, thank you so much for giving us a tour, but Sid, I really think it's time for us to be going.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
These spiders are awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great. Yeah. It's triviography time.
Today's question, what is ungulate?
Here's a hint. It's not another word for unglue.
Okay, I'll just gulate these two pieces together and voila! Oh, it's sticky. It's wipe my hands off and... Oh no, now I need to ungulate my hands. Edie!
And it's not something you learn in trigonometry. In the wonderful world of polygons, we have the isosceles triangle, the quadrilateral, the trapezoid, the nanogon, and my personal favorite, the ungulate.
So what does ungulate mean?
We'll tell you later in the show.
Ever yearned for excitement? Ever wanted to get that adrenaline pumping? Well, look no further and experience Eldon's Rainforest Safari Adventures. Yes, explore the rainforest right here in Canada. And for a bargain price of $100,000. Yes, you can have your very own Canadian Rainforest Safari Adventure. Oh, exciting things. Oh, hey, look, like stalking the wild Canadian hippopotamus in its natural habitat.
Eldon, what are you doing?
Huh? Who said that? Who was saying that there?
Eldon!
You stop doing that, okay? What does it look like I'm doing? I am finding an untapped market. Just think. Safaris in the virtually unknown Canadian rainforest. I'll be rich.
Eldon, it's not that kind of forest.
Well, what are you getting at?
Well, you're thinking of a tropical rainforest, and that's not the type that we have here in Canada.
You mean there's different types of rainforest?
Sure, just keep watching.
Oh, man. Do you know how expensive these leaves were?
We're in the Inkamaplu Rainforest, a part of the only inland temperate rainforest in the world.
And this is Craig with the Valhalla Wilderness Society. Hi, Craig. How are you? So, Craig, what conditions are needed to create this unique forest ecosystem?
Well, as we look around, you get the feeling of a very wet, moist forest. So, of course, we need lots of moisture. And that comes in the form of rain, and the storms coming in off the ocean, the big wet clouds, push up against these steep mountains and condense and produce lots of rainfall. not only do we need lots of rain, we need lots of moisture in the summer. During the 2 driest months of July and August, we have to have more moisture in the form of rain and clouds coming in than what evaporates from the ground. Another factor, of course, is winter moderate temperatures so that the organisms and the trees don't get frozen back.
And what's the difference between old growth and antique old growth?
An antique forest is one that, because of the wetness, has never had a major forest fire that's eliminated all the trees. These trees have primarily grown since the last ice age, and the age of the whole forest structure is older than the oldest trees. Whereas in old growth forest, it's more of a fire-dominated forest ecosystem. And quite often there, your oldest trees will be the age since the last major fire.
How old are some of the trees in this forest?
Some of the trees that we've gone by that are up in the 2-meter diameter class are upwards of 1,000 years old. And maybe a little later we'll show you how we go about trying to age some of these trees.
So what types of trees are here?
These trees are predominantly throughout here cedar and hemlock, the largest trees being the western red cedar and the smaller trees being hemlock.
So why isn't this area being protected?
In the past, it hasn't been recognized as significant. Various wilderness groups started focusing on this area about 5 years ago. And the first clue that we had was the size of these trees. We recognized that these trees were larger than anything we'd seen anywhere else in interior BC. And once we started looking at the size, then we started bringing in scientists that specialized in lichens and were able to find rare species in here. And with that, while we were doing that, the logging companies were laying out roads and cut blocks in this forest. You may see some ribbons in places, but we took our findings to the Ministry of Forest and said, look, here's something in this forest that is nowhere else in this region, and you need to look at that and consider it. And to their credit, they did stop things to look at it temporarily.
Cool. I wouldn't want to lose this. It's so beautiful.
It's a very special place to be.
Yeah.
CGK.
One of the ways that we determine the age of the trees is to bore them with a tool called an increment bore. So as you twist it, it cuts its way into the tree and produces a wood core, and that wood core will show the growth rings of a tree. I think we got some sound wood here.
Oh, wicked. There it is.
There's the core. And all the white wood is recent growth. And as it gets dark down at this end, we're into the rot. And if you carefully look, there's light wood and dark rings. The light wood is the amount of growth the tree has done during the summer season, and the dark growth is the hardening off or the slow growth during winter. So to count these rings, you count one dark ring with the white ring, that's 1 full year of growth. So normally we would put that core inside a plastic tube and then take it home and place the core on a glued stick where we can glue it and keep it intact. And then we sand it. And so you can really see the grains quite well, and you can see how we've counted this in tens so that you don't get all the way up to 100, forget where you've counted, and then have to start all over again. So on this particular tree, we got 219 years and roughly 30 centimeters of core. So averaging it out on this 1 meter tree, or this tree, we'll put a tape around it and measure it, but it's around 2.3 meters in diameter, which is just a little over a meter in radius. In the other 70 centimeters, we would have whatever the average of this is, which is somewhere around 8 years a centimeter. So this tree is roughly 800 years old.
That is pretty incredible. It almost looks like a measuring stick, which it is.
We're measuring the years.
Exactly.
It's the years of its growth. We're going to now measure the diameter of this tree. Although it may look like we're going to do the circumference, this tape is specially calibrated to give us diameter equivalents, so we don't have to do any high school geometry. So, what does it read, Edie, at the 0?
Oh, at the 0, it is 236 and a half?
Yes, 236 and a half centimeters in diameter. That's 2.36 meters in diameters.
That is pretty cool.
That's some grandmother of a tree, isn't it?
That's right.
It's time to answer today's triviography question.
Today's question, what is ungulate?
An ungulate is a hooved animal. A horse or cow is an ungulate, and so are many of the larger mammals found in the BC Interior Rainforest, including moose, elk, deer, and mountain caribou.
CG Kids is on the World Wide Web. Find out even more about all the incredible places that we visit on CG Kids. Just click on our website to find games, contests, and a lot more fun facts about our amazing country. Check it out.
The British Columbia interior is gorgeous. We saw mountains, the Cody Caves, and we even learned some mountain biking.
We even found out about the diversity of the interior rainforest.
And there are no hippos in Canada, Eldon. Well, at least none outside a zoo.
Don't you worry. Eldon Safari Adventures is going to happen right here with the help of modern technology. See, you don't have to go to the rainforest. You bring the crazy rainforest right here with the help of virtual reality. Ta-da! You see, this is high-tech stuff here, so stand back, be careful. Now I just press this button here, and the jungle comes alive. It's all around me. All I see is jungle. And over... Oh, look at that beautiful lake. I'm going to go swimming over there. Oh, ow, ow.
Are you okay, Eldon?
Not to self. The desk is still in the real room.